Oh my goodness. And it's Fast Friday, it's the beginning of September, and in the world of F1, that means only one thing. It's the Italian Grand Prix in Monza. It is absolutely scorching here. It's been about 30 degrees today, and this morning we went for a wander around the streets of Monza. We saw the gorgeous Duomo, we saw people having coffees in piazzas, and we saw the River Lambro. But we're here for one thing. It's the F1, and it couldn't have been more fitting to see a Red Bull parked underneath the Arengario. What a way to tell Ferrari and the Italians, and to be honest, all the other teams on the grid, that this weekend Red Bull mean business. And it was business as usual in final practice 2. Sebastian Vettel setting the fastest time and his teammate Mark Webber taking second place as well. So a 1-2 for Red Bull. We were all expecting Mercedes and Ferrari to be quite fast. They were bringing a very low drag aero package to Monza this weekend. And Lewis Hamilton did deliver. He was fastest in FP1 with Nico Rosberg in third place. Fernando Alonso did better than Massa, but nothing too astounding from Ferrari. In fact, the best bit of Ferrari today was when Massa nearly crashed into Alonso in the pit lane. Something for the home crowd to have a bit of a cheer and a laugh about. And talking of home crowd, one driver who's been pushing for his home race is Sergio Perez. He's been talking about that race in Mexico that could be on the calendar next year. They've announced that there'll be 21 races possibly in 2014, but it's all coming down to a final decision by the FIA and FOM. I caught up with Sergio Perez at the Rush premiere, where he told me he was very excited for his home race. And you can see the British fans for McLaren and for Jensen. For you, the talk of a Mexican Grand Prix next year. Would you like to be in front of your home fans?
It will be great to be there. And I think it can happen. It can really happen. So I'm really looking forward to it.
That Mexico race in 2014 in November seems a very long way away at the moment. So it's all about Monza this weekend. And I wanted to bring you out here to the Oval Circuit. There are actually 3 tracks in Monza Park. You've got the Grand Prix circuit, the Junior track, and then this Oval Circuit that, as you can see behind me, has massive banking. Now, in 1961, Jim Clark in the Lotus had a massive collision with Wolfgang von Trips. Sadly, von Trips was killed along with about 14 spectators. And even though it didn't happen on this particular section of the track, it was deemed that the circuit was too fast for F1 cars. So that was the last race that F1 used it. It was still used for other races. In 1966, they added chicanes just before the banking. And then in 1968, they added some runoff. But it was last used for the 1,000-kilometre Monza back in 1969. Today, they still use it. It was almost demolished in the 1990s, but once a year, Monza Rally uses this oval circuit. And I just want to show you how steep the banking is. Back in February, I went to the Daytona 500. Oh my goodness. And I made it to the top. And I can honestly say, there is no way I'm even going to get 3/4 of the way up. So you can see just how intense this banking is. And really, it would never work for an F1 car these days. So we're in Monza. It's absolutely beautiful. You've got dappled sunlight. It's very autumnal, and yet it's still 30 degrees. The track temperature was about 42 today. It's been about 30 degrees. Monza has so much history here as well. It's been going for 63 years, since the beginning of F1 in 1950. And there's so much history that we thought we'd take a look back and show you our Monza moments. Here are our top 10. Giuseppe Farina becomes the first ever world champion. The closest finish ever, Peter Gethin beat Ronnie Peterson by less than 0.001 of a second. Gerhard Berger wins for Ferrari in the first Italian Grand Prix after Enzo Ferrari's death. Alain Prost drops his winner's trophy into the crowd, to the delight of the Tifosi and Ron Dennis's horror. Johnny Herbert wins his second Grand Prix of the season after starting in 8th, and he makes sure everyone knows it. Damon Hill crashed into the back of Michael Schumacher, leading to both drivers retiring. Schumi went to confront Hill, but was pulled away by stewards immediately. Schumacher takes his first win for Ferrari in front of the Tifosi, winning them over. Mika Hakkinen broke down in tears after he spun off on the 29th lap. Sebastian Vettel wins his first race, making him the youngest driver to win a Formula One race, and gives Toro Rosso their maiden win. HRT and Italian driver Vitantonio Liuzzi caused a massive crash on the first corner, even though he started last on the grid. So those are our top 10 moments. What were yours? Let us know below. And of course, I want to know your predictions for the podium on Sunday at the Italian Grand Prix. Comment below and subscribe to Pole Position.